Ladies, gentlemen, and others. Valiant Shadow here, and today we're going to talk about comic book superheroes and role-playing games. Two of my favorite things. It's going to be a good time. So for those of you who have been living under a rock recently, Skyrim Special Edition has been released for the PC, the PS4, and the Xbox One. But not for the iPad. 1 out of 10! Worst game ever! But no, seriously, Skyrim was an understandably much beloved game, and it's arguably one of the best fantasy role-playing games ever made. Sure, it's easy and completely valid to debate its merits and its flaws above or below the other entries in the Elder Scrolls series, but the fact remains, it's a pretty solid fantasy role-playing experience. But as you can tell from the nerd wall behind me, the only thing that I love more than video games are comic books. You have to understand, the comic book industry has been a huge part of my life ever since I was about 5 or 6 years old, and my dad said to me, "Hey, there's this new cartoon out. It's called Spider-Man. You might be into that shit." And I was like, what?
You're for real! Just hold that pose, Smiley! Whoa. Great! There goes my $1,000 photo. When am I gonna get the hang of being a superhero and a photographer at the same time? Good reflexes for a future handbag.
And then I was like,
Problem is, Eddie Brock isn't the same guy he once was. Why don't we introduce you to our better half? We call ourselves Venom.
Where's he getting this stuff? I've heard of countries with smaller arsenals.
and then I was like, wow, sorry. And while it took a very long time for us to get some good superhero games out into the wild, eventually, with, time and care and a few prayers to Satan, it happened. Arkham Asylum was arguably the first ever truly good superhero video game experience. Now, sure, there were a couple of platformers for the old school systems that were definitely fun for what they were, but Arkham Asylum is almost unanimously considered to be the first game to ever come out that truly made you feel like a superhero. Specifically, the main man, Batman.
I'm Batman.
See, this is where, if I could, I would just do some fancy editing and I'd come back to you guys and I'd be wearing the badass Batman mask that I bought for myself about 2 years ago for Halloween. I have no idea where that is now though, so that's not gonna happen, which is sad. 1, because it would look really cool, and 2, because that mask was kind of expensive. But as much as I love Batman, as much as I love Arkham Asylum, loved Arkham City, loved, appreciated Arkham Origins, and I'm gonna save my thoughts on Arkham Knight for another video.
Oops.
While the Arkham series brought some much-needed fresh awesome to the long-suffering superhero subgenre of video games, there's one thing in my mind that's been missing for a very long time. And we talked about Skyrim, now we're talking about vigilantes in long underwear, so you're probably pretty aware of where this is going. Much to my chagrin, there has, in my opinion, to my knowledge, never been a truly immersive, open-world, superhero role-playing game. And that really fucking sucks! Now, somebody with better time, equipment, and talent than me could probably go into a veritable thesis about why this has not come to pass yet. I am not that guy, more's the pity. But the fact remains, I want that game. I think that game would be one of the best experiences ever made. And now I'm going to explain to you why I think that. Picture this, okay? So instead of opening our game up with being sentenced to death because, lol, reasons.
Captain, what should we do? He's not on the list.
Forget the list. He goes to the block.
Sorry, too bad, so sad. Instead, right, we open our game up by getting superpowers and becoming awesome. Maybe you could choose your starting background, okay? Maybe you could be an outcast nerd. Maybe you could be a billionaire industrialist. Maybe you could be a military operative. Maybe you could be a school teacher, a social worker. Maybe you could be an athlete. Maybe you could be an ace reporter. But none of that matters because at the start of our game, you're empowered. Title maybe? Empowered? I love it. I love it. Let's do it. Empowered! And wait, but that was already a comic book and it was kind of cheesecake and cringeworthy. Doesn't matter! My idea was better. So once you are henceforth empowered, you get to decide, do you want to be a hero or do you want to be a villain? You go out into this thriving metropolis, bursting at the seams with things to see, things to do, people to save, or, slaughter, depending on your role-playing preferences. I know we got some of you dark side people out there, what up? But either way, you gain experience by going out and imposing your super-heroic, awesome-tacular will upon the world. Oh, and think about the inherent awesome to be found in cobbling together your costume with different pieces and materials that you could find strewn about the world, some of which could be given as quest rewards, other of which could be located entirely on your own. There could be a weapon system as well. I mean, we all know that heroes and villains both have never been above using weapons. Oh shit. There could even be a companion system, right? You could have your sidekicks who could follow you around until they inevitably get shot by your arch nemesis or crowbarred to death. The fuck is this? What is this? What am I doing? Oh god, this is kind of lewd. This is awkward. I really shouldn't do this. Sorry. No, but seriously, right? The sidekick angle would be really cool. And you could even choose whether or not you wanted to pursue a sidekick. You could even have a myriad of sidekicks should you choose not to go it alone, right? You had multiple companions in Skyrim, so instead of having, multiple companions, you have multiple sidekicks, right? You could have your Batgirl, you could have your Robin, your Nightwing, your Red Hood. It'd be cool, and you could only bring one of them with you at a time, unless you're playing on PC, and then you mod it and you break the game because you're a fucking asshole, and, I love you. You could build relationships with them, you can build relationships with quest givers, right? That would be pretty awesome. Building in identity mechanics couldn't be that difficult. We already kind of did that back when we had Oblivion and the Gray Fox questline, which was really fucking awesome. Best iteration of the Thieves Guild ever. Sorry, but I really feel like Skyrim got curb stomped in that regard. And at key points as you level up and complete more quests, like supervillains could show up. 1 minute you're saving kittens that are falling out of buildings or whatever the fuck, and then, oh my god, Captain Evil Thunderdouche comes out of nowhere from on high and just starts wrecking shit. And you and your superpowered ass, you have to go out there and you have to be awesome. You have to save the day, fight for justice. Or, you could have the inverse. If your character has been doing enough evil shit, if you've been evil enough, there fucking could be randomly generated superheroes that show up and go, yo, I'm gonna kick your ass, and then y'all can have like the obligatory slugfest in the middle of Harlem and wreck shit because justice and superheroics. Guys, it would be so cool. Why are we not funding this? Well, it's like I said, both superhero fiction and video games are huge parts of my life, and I would love very much to see those two things brought together in an awesome sandwich of a video game role-playing experience. As far as I know, it hasn't really happened. As awesome as the Arkham games may be, what I'm talking about, as far as I know, does not exist. If I'm wrong, please tell me in the comments section below, link me to it, because I want to play the shit out of it! In any case, I'm pretty sure that I have made my point, I've ranted, and I've rambled enough. I love you guys so much for watching this far. Subscribe to my channel, hit the little bell doohickey, and hopefully, as long as YouTube does what it's supposed to do, you'll get notified every time a new video goes up. I do Let's Plays pretty frequently, and I'm trying to do more stuff like this as well. So, we'll see what happens. But in either case, thank you very much for spending your time with me. You're awesome. I love you, and I hope someday you get bitten by a radioactive spider, and that you don't die subsequently of, leukemia, because that would suck. Because then you couldn't watch any more of my videos.